Hello, this is my 18th video for the Autism Information channel, and this is a Reduxed version of my second video, I think, which was originally entitled Asperger's and OCD, but I've decided to update it because I had a formal diagnosis not only of high functioning autism but also obsessive-compulsive disorder as well. So when did OCD start for me, and how did it start? Well, it started at school when I was around 12 years old, and it started with the classic hand washing. And what I used to do is I used to spend ages and ages in what felt like forever in the school toilets at times, because I used to count every time I went there, or I suppose it was a very stressful event being at school, so it was I would say at least I'd say every time I went in there. It's a big issue actually, hand washing, and it was about, I think it would be 10 times, so 10 times I would have to wash my hands in a ritualistic fashion. The feeling I would get afterwards is that everything would be put right if I'd done this 10 times. So all my problems would go away, all anxiety would go away, and I'd have a good day. It's a compulsion to do this, and obviously with the obsession, hence why it's called obsessive-compulsive disorder, the compulsion to do something obsessively because you fear unhappiness, you feared maybe becoming ill or someone dying. I remember this escalated as I went through my years at secondary school. So before I used to go out to the bus stop, I used to go at my grandmother's, and she used to well, with my compulsion, I had a long list of different diseases and illnesses that she had to promise me that I wouldn't get during the day, and we go through, I don't know, about 10 to 15 different illnesses I was scared of getting at the time, and every one I said, you promise I'm not going to get this, you promise I'm not going to get this, that, and it would take about, I would say about 5 to 10 minutes before I actually, got out of, I would say this at the porch, and we had a drive, so it would take me 10 minutes to go through this ritual before I went to school. Does it still affect me now? Yes, it does. It does affect me now. It affects me at home with plug checking in particular. Plug checking is something I do a lot actually, checking switches, checking plugs are out of their sockets sometimes, checking taps, touching them, making sure they're off because they need to be off, else the way OCD goes, something will happen. Sometimes with lights, also checking lights, but it's more so with plug checking that things are off because you fear maybe if they're not off you're going to cause your house to be burnt down, or you're going to have a bad day, or something's going to trigger something off in the house that you've got no control over unless you fulfill the obsessive compulsion to check certain things. As I mentioned in the original video, the difference between an autistic obsession and special interest and an OCD obsession is that an OCD obsession, a compulsion, is stressful, it's anxiety provoking, it's upsetting. It's not an escape, it's actually the complete opposite. You're caged by this compulsion to do things. Now with an autistic obsession, usually it's the opposite. You enjoy your special interests, you enjoy sharing your special interests, you're not stressed. It's actually fulfilling the opposite reason. You're opening up, you're relieved, a sense of enjoyment. So they're two very, very different things, although they can get mixed up, and understandably so, because of the perceptions of autism and how it affects the individual. So that still affects me now. OCD still affects me. You can deal with it. There are different ways that people deal with it. CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, is one, and just general, from my personal perspective, help with the family. My mum's got OCD, so we can relate to each other in that respect. So there may be a genetic influence there. I'm sure some research could be done. Medication as well to suppress the obsessions, the intrusive and invasive thoughts. I think that's the core of it. These invasive, it's an invasion in one's own mind, whereas an autistic obsession is the opposite. It's freedom. So I hope you've enjoyed this revamped, reduxed version of my earlier video for autism coexisting with OCD, Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder, and I hope I can help others who have got this comorbid condition with their autism as well. Thank you very much.